let's try it louder. Let's give them a really good hand. All right, let's try it again until I can see everybody in the room clapping. Everybody in the room, let's go. We still got one in the back not clapping. Come on, everybody in the room.
Everybody clap. Everybody clapping.
Yeah, everybody. All right. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Come on, man.
So, good morning, everybody. One thing I wanted to touch on, John mentioned something about being a copycat. I've heard a saying, though, that they say nothing's wrong with copying the cat if you copy the right cat. You understand what I'm saying? So you don't want to be a copycat as far as you don't want to try to take over anybody else's identity. But what you can do is copy positive behavior you see from leaders. You understand what I'm saying? So I think the point that John was trying to make is each of us are individuals, right? You have your own identity, your own individuality. God made each of us as unique as a fingerprint. So we're not, nobody's nobody else. And that's the greatest part about people, right? Is that everybody's different. Everybody's different, but in a way, we can all be the same in certain ways, right? That's the one good thing about Headed Straight Up is we're all here to be of one mind, right? We're all here to be on the same mission, the same type of people, right? Not the same person, but the same type of people. And so what I always suggest with new people is when you get here, I would copy some of the traits that you see in leadership. So if you see somebody that's got their stuff together and they're doing certain things that are positive, one way to level up is to copy that positive behavior that you see. And look at it as motivation. Think, if they can do that, I can do it. You know, if you get here and you see somebody that's leading from the front and always getting high recognition, why don't you check that person out and be like, what is he doing or what is she doing that's working? And copy those positive things that you see them doing. I'm not saying copy their favorite color and copy, the way they laugh and stuff like that. I mean, you're your own person, but copy the positive behavior that you see. So it's really interesting, but I don't know if any of you guys ever follow sports or fighters and stuff like that, even UFC, boxing, right? It's really interesting, but if you ask most famous people that are really good at something, right? If you ask them, they will almost, all of them that I've ever heard, has always said they had someone that sparked an interest that they looked up to. I can't remember who it is, but I know Mike Tyson's got somebody. Which one was it? Muhammad Ali, right? He thought, man, I want to be able to knock out people like he did. And look what he did. He knocked out people just like he did, if not even better, right? So he found somebody that kind of had a way to go that looked good to him, and he copied him in a positive way, right? His own personality, but he saw good things that he wanted, and he copied it, right? Not copy as in like a copyright, right? You're not trying to take over.
Emulate.
Emulate is a better word. You emulate the positive traits that you see. If you see somebody else accomplishing something, you can accomplish it too, right? That's the whole point of leadership in the leadership development program. I want people to look at me and think I can accomplish that too, right? That's why I lay out the blueprint. I tell everybody the specific things that I do to help you become successful. If you do this, this, and this, it'll work out for you. And so that's really all you got to do when you come to Headed Straight Up is get in line and just follow what's working, because people have went out before you and figured out all the hard stuff, right? People have figured out what works. People have figured out what doesn't work. And that's why we have such a great program here. A lot of companies and a lot of different other places that you show up there's no direction. When you show up at some of the other offices and the other opportunities, you know what they do? They take you out and they have you do sales on their phone. They say, here, I'm going to let you train today, and you're going to put in sales on my phone. So what's that mean? They get the money, right? When you show up here, we let you do business on your phone, and we even help you get your first sales, right? And we give you the way to go, the specific training that you need to be successful, right? So give a hand up for Headed Straight Up.
Woo!
And things are working out really good, you guys. So what I want to talk to you about today is the difference between, give me a second, I got notes. So the difference between ability versus talent versus obsession. So everybody pay attention. My wife told me the other day, she said, I looked up and people were looking at their phones and they weren't paying attention to you. So I need everybody to not look at your phone and pay attention during this meeting, okay? Just out of respect. Because I know some of you guys think, oh, I've been here so long, I done heard him say everything, but you actually don't, because I bring new content every time. Every single time I come in here, I might repeat some stuff that you need to hear, but I literally study so I have something fresh for you every time. So, ability versus talent versus obsession. Now, what I believe is that everybody, when you get here, right, you have the ability to do well. That's what I believe. When you get here, we have a hiring process where we screen you, we ask the right questions, we make sure that you're a certain type of person, that you have the certain things that it takes to qualify for this job. We look for people that have potential, people that have the ability to do well, right? There's only some basic things that you need to have this job. A car, a phone, right? You need to have a full schedule where you can show up, 3 times a week, be a full-time worker. But beyond that, we look for people that we think have the ability to succeed here. So it's pretty basic. It doesn't take a lot to accomplish this job, right? But we go beyond that. Listen to me. We actually screen and we look for people that we think and hope have a good attitude, right? We're looking for people that seem to be the type of people that are going to be team players, right? People that are going to be team players, people that are going to listen, people that are not going to have too much pride to take direction, right? There's some screening questions that we ask during the interviews to make sure that we're finding the right people. That's why we turn away so many people. They can have this, and this in line, but if they're nodding out during the interview, we might not hire them. Why not? Well, it doesn't look like Buddy's, got his stuff together to go to trust with some inventory maybe. I don't know. There's some stuff that'll keep you from having this job. But for the most part, if you have a positive attitude, you have the basic stuff, we believe you have the ability to succeed. So what is the difference between ability and obsession? The difference between ability versus talent. Ability can perform tasks to minimum standards. Ability can be present while talent absent. Ability is the prerequisite to talent. Talent can perform tasks at standards above their peers, genetic, minimal practice to perfect, quick to implement new strategy or techniques. I looked it up. There's 3 types of talent. One is natural. This is an ability that an individual is born with, right? People that have natural talent. Evident refers to skills that people already have. Potential. This refers to the talent that a person can develop if he or she prepared for it. Now, a lot of people look at people that are really, really good at stuff, right? And they think, oh, they were born with that. But I beg to differ in a lot of situations. We were shooting shots the other day, and I was talking about basketball, so I'm going to talk about that again. Basketball, right? Michael Jordan, right? People think, oh, he was born with that talent. But I beg to differ. I think he worked his butt off to get that talent, right? I don't know if you guys heard the stories, but he literally practiced all the time. Any free time that he had whatsoever. Mike?
Michael Jordan played in high school, didn't even make the basketball.
He didn't make the team.
Didn't even make the team in high school. That's pretty powerful. I know I've heard stories that his dad kept him active at it, though. All the time playing. But practice, right? Practicing over and over can develop talent. Even when people show up at this job here, they have the potential, they have the ability, but we've had people that come into this job and it takes them a while before they catch on. John would be a perfect example. He was telling you earlier that his weeks were like 30 cell weeks for a while. Till it caught on, till he practiced enough, till he had the interest enough and had his head in the game enough, right, to actually follow through and make a success out of it. So you can have ability, but whether or not you perfect that into talent is up to you. You show up, you have the potential. How many people know how many people die with wasted potential? That was one of my fears when I was trying to get myself straight in my life. I thought to myself, dang, there's actually a chance that I could end up wasting my potential. And how many people do that? A lot of people actually do that. You meet people and they'll be depressed older in their life, like, dang, I just didn't do nothing with it. I could have done it. Right? So there's a difference between somebody that has the ability or somebody that has talent. And the difference is they apply themselves to actually bring what is potential to reality. So when you get here to this job, it's up to you to actually apply yourself to build up your talent. We have some talented individuals in this room, people that have figured out the craft, right? Can go out and do it really hardcore, make a lot of sales. Make a success out of any day of the week they put their mind to it. Make a success out of any week they want to. So, but it takes practice to build yourself up to that point. You can have potential, but if you don't practice, how are you ever going to have talent? Think about it, right? You're not just born with the type of talent it takes for this job. You got to perfect it. You got to practice, right? Why do I say that? Because this job right here requires some hard work. It requires patience, right? It requires consistency. It requires the right type of temperament to deal with multiple people's attitudes, right? It requires good communication, right? It requires leadership in a way. You got to be a leader sometimes when you're at your tent. What if something pops off and you don't know how to lead the tent in the right fashion? Right? You could lose your customers. Sometimes somebody says something smart. You got to handle it the right way. You got to have good thought process. You got to be able to lead even while you're out at the tent. There's been many times that I put something in check at the tent and we bring a success out of it. But if I wouldn't have handled it the right way, I would have lost the business. Somebody comes up and they say something against the business or against the company or against the product, right? Your ability to respond to that in the moment is the difference between making a success out of it or not. There's moments where somebody might come up and ruin some sales for you. They could come up and say some stuff while they're at the tent, and next thing you know, 2 or 3 people walk away because of something someone said. But if you practice and you get good enough at communication and you know how to bring facts to the table and you know how to practice love and grace and all these things that it takes in the heat of the moment, you can handle it when you're under pressure, right or wrong. Right. Same type of thing when they're out there on the basketball court and there's pressure in the game. The ones that get good are the ones that know how to handle the pressure. They can still perform under pressure. That's practice. That's talent. You don't just do that naturally. Some people might naturally be better at it than others, but without practicing and actually putting in some time and effort, it's not going to become true talent. Right? I heard, what got me on this is I heard somebody say that talent is good, but obsession will beat it every time. Think about that. And I started thinking about it and I was like, dang, that's deep. Right? Because there's another level to what I'm talking about. The people that can be talented, right? But the ones that are obsessed will win. What do I mean by that? People that get obsessed with what they're doing. Right? Think about it. That's people like Michael Jordan. That's people like Kobe Bryant. That's people like Mike Tyson. That's people like Muhammad Ali. These people are obsessed with what they do. Right? And when I think about it, when I think back to when I was in the magazine business, and that was, you know, my time of learning direct sales and how to be a leader and how to do sales basically from the ground up. I was obsessed with it. I was obsessed with everything about our job, everything about the company. I liked the contest, I liked the points, right? And when I think about the reflection to this company and what's going on right now, the people that get obsessed with this company and really dive head first and really go all in and think about the fact, like think about things like the chat, right? The little emojis in the chat, right? Posting bells, posting bombs. People that get obsessed with that stuff are going to do better than the other ones.
Yep.
People that really get obsessed with the parts of the job that to some people might be kind of like meaningless, but to some other people, they take a lot of pride in it. It means a lot. I don't know if you know, but I got the bomb tattooed on my arm. That's how obsessed I am with what we got going on here. Because when you get into something and you really have pride about what you're doing and you have passion about it and you get obsessed with it, that's when you're super successful, right? When you engage yourself with what you're doing. It's almost like some people consider it a sick mindset when you're so all in. People look at you like you're crazy. People that don't understand obsession. People that don't understand what it's like to truly win, to truly be all in with something. You know what it's like when you're all into something, right? I guess the biggest problem with most people is they go all in with the wrong thing. But things like this, if you get obsessed with what we got going on right here, you'll be super successful. It says, when does obsession actually beat talent? While talent is undoubtedly a gift, it is not the sole determinant of success. Obsession, with its relentless drive and unwavering commitment, consistently outperforms talent in the long run. It's the unseen force that propels you forward when others falter, and it's the key to unlocking your full potential. So, at one level, we got ability and potential, right? At another level, we have talent. But at the most supreme level, we have obsession. Think about that. The people that are all in, like just sick with it, in a positive way, obviously, but just sick with it, just all in, right? All in with everything that has to do with it. These are the people that think about it day and night. The people that can't even go to sleep sometimes, they're just thinking about it. Like, oh, I can't wait to wake up in the morning and go kill it again. That's obsession. I'm thinking about my spot in the morning while I'm going to bed at night. I'm thinking about the points. I'm thinking about the contest. I'm thinking about the chat, right? I'm already thinking about tomorrow's bells and bombs. That's obsession. That's the difference, right? Some people are talented. They got an on and off switch. In the magazine business, they used to tell us it's not an on and off switch, it's a way of life. When you're all in with something, when you're super dedicated, right? When you're sold out, when you want it more than you want anything else. Because let me tell you what, listen, one of the best parts of life is being all in with something. It truly is. Because if you've never experienced giving anything your all, you haven't experienced what full potential is. Because unless you give your all to something, right, you're not actually going to reach your full potential. And how do I reach my full potential? First and foremost, I give myself to the Lord, right? I realize what a man of God is supposed to be, what a leader's supposed to be. I realize that as a man of God, I'm supposed to work hard and do a good job in society. So that means I go all in at work. And I get really serious about it. And I take pride in what I'm doing. Right? And it means a lot to me. I think about it at night. I think about it during the day. I think about it in the morning. I think about it when I'm driving around in my car. I'm thinking about winning. I'm thinking about winning because winning is what winners do. I'm thinking about winning is because that's what happens when you put your mind to something. You win. And it feels good. It feels good to know that you're winning. Right? I thought about it. I was like, everybody's a winner. I don't know if y'all heard me say this before, but did you know how many millions of sperm are trying to get to the egg? And you made it? Listen, man. Do you know how many sperm are trying to get to the egg? And you made it? Imagine the visual. They're all swimming, and you won. I'm saying, think about it. They're all going, millions of them. And you hit the egg, you're the winner. It's like, there's levels to it too. It's like, there's like millions of them, right? And then once you get to a certain part of the body, then there's like a couple hundred left. And then by the end, there's one that makes it, and that was you.
Yeah, let's go.
Think about it. Think about it. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. You came out a winner. You was a part of a divine plan.
Yes, I'm a winner.
So why not continue winning? Right? Imagine all the millions of people. Why not be the one pressing in front of most? Think about it. The visual. When I think about that, it gets me excited. I'm like, man, that's powerful. Like, I want to still be the winner, the one in the front that's swimming the fastest and making the most and doing the best. You understand what I'm saying? I was already a winner when I was born. Right? You know what else I thought too? Even though I won, I still had to be patient before I was born. 9 months. That's deep. Sometimes when you hit your success, you still got to practice patience before it really opens up into the next level. But you're a winner. You got to picture that in your mind. I almost made this about being a winner and seeing yourself as a winner. Because that type of mindset is why people win. It's literally the difference between people that fall short and people that actually succeed in life. The people that succeed see themselves as the winner. That's literally the difference. Even the people that are in sports, they literally believe they're the best. They believe they're the best until they are. Right? So I see everyone in this office as a star. And I think, listen, I think how we're going to always be number one is when all the individuals see themselves as number one. Think about it. When each individual in this room is seeing themselves as a winner, that's how we're going to be a winner the most as a team. When each person is seeing themselves in their mind succeeding and making it happen. But the way that's going to happen more than anything else is obsession. Being obsessed about what you do. Being all in at whatever level you're at. Being all in, sick with it, obsessed. I'm telling you. When you're all in like that, that's when you super exceed. When you throw everything outside of focus and just get tunnel vision. And see yourself winning. Think about it. I literally looked this up on Google. It's like basic stuff that everybody knows and understands, but yet how many people actually get obsessed with their craft? Talent, listen, ability, talent, obsession. Right? And then the other thing I always try to tell you guys is a lot of people are reserved to go all in with something. They could get obsessed, but they don't. They have reservation for some reason. So you got to figure out what that reservation is that's keeping you from being dedicated fully. That's what's going to make you really pop off and be successful to the next level. When you figure out what is the reservation that's making me hold back, think about it. You know what I'm saying is true. You got to figure out, why am I not going all in? Why am I only giving this much of my effort? Right? Because when I talk to people on a personal level, they'll tell me, yeah, I know, man. I could do better. I should. Right? But why are we so okay with the coulds and shoulds? Why are we so okay with, yeah, I could, yeah, I should? Think about how many shoulds you have in your life. Yeah, I know I should. Yeah, I know I should. Right? But at what point do you just stop with the shoulds and get the stuff done? Think about it. That's going to be the difference of the really successful you, is when you get to a point where you stop being okay with not doing your best. When you stop being okay with saying, yeah, I should do better. Yeah, I could do better. When you actually get sick of that and you don't accept that feeling anymore. I ask people sometimes, I don't even understand how you can feel like that. It drives me crazy when I feel like I'm not giving my best. It bothers me, like super bothers me. When I know I could have done better. Do you want to know what bothers me more than anything in life? That's my biggest pet peeve with myself, is when I know I could be doing a better job. It bothers me to the core. If I feel like I could be doing a better job at work, it bothers me. In my faith, same thing. If I feel like I should be doing better for God, it bothers me. It's my biggest pet peeve. And it's like the driving force that makes me continue to try harder. Because I constantly recognize, am I really giving my best? Right? And when I look at stuff, I almost break it down in a scientific way. If I'm out dedicating 10 hours to something, why in the world would I spend 10 hours doing something and not give it my best? Why? I'm spending the same amount of time. I'm doing 10 hours. Why would I not maximize the 10 hours? What's the difference? Obsession? That's the difference. When you're all in. There's a difference between obsession and talent. Talent will say, I could, I should, but I'm not going to. And talent will be okay with that. Talent has pride and everything. Talent has pride. Talent will go, yeah, I could. That's good enough for me. Just knowing I could is good enough for me. That's what talent does a lot. I know, because I've been at that point in life before. I was at a point in life where I just was good enough knowing I could do something. That was good enough for me. Knowing I could beat something or I could do something. I was okay with that, even if I wasn't doing it. It wasn't until I got sick of that and I got to a point where I'm like, no, if I can do it, I will, or I won't be okay with it. That's where things really turned around. When I got to a point where I'm like, no, if I know I can and I don't, I'm not going to be okay with that. I flipped it. Now, if I know I could do something really good and I don't, that doesn't sit well with me. It's not okay just knowing I could or I should, I will. Do you understand the difference? That's the difference between number one. Some people sit at number 5 and go, yeah, I could be number 1 if I wanted to. And that's the pride in them saying it, and they're good with it. Yeah, if I wanted to go get that many today, I could, but I'm too cool. I'm about to chill and do something else. I'm fine with that. That's the difference, because talent's not going to beat obsession. Obsession is all in, sick-witted mindset. You can't make me stop. I'm not going to be okay with not getting it because it means so much to me to do good. And you got to get this, because if you don't get this, you're not going to be able to apply it. But you can apply this on everything in your life. You can apply this obsession. Listen, everything I do, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with my faith. I'm obsessed with my job. I'm obsessed with my fitness. Everything I do, I'm obsessed. I'm all in. I don't even want to do it unless I'm obsessed with it. It's that extra step that I take in my mindset because it feels good. It feels good to just be all in with it. Right? And it's really working out very well for me, if I must say. It's working out very well for me. So I'm not telling you something that is bad for you. I'm telling you something that's probably the best thing I could ever tell you, other than give your life to Jesus. Get obsessed with what you put your mind to. Don't be mediocre. Don't be okay with going, yeah, I could do that if I wanted to. That's not good enough. Nobody's going to pay you for that. You're not going to level up just because you think you could. You have to do it. You have to actually follow through. How many know what I'm talking about? Exactly. When you know you could do something, it's like, yeah, I could if I wanted to. Bleh. But that shouldn't be good enough. And I know what it's like. I'm going to repeat myself. I know what it's like. I was in the magazine business for a while, right? And I was so known, Bobby Thompson this, Bobby Thompson that. I literally was living off the credit of my name. I could get deals, contracts, go anywhere I want. People give me anything I wanted just because I was Bobby Thompson. For a while. Right? I'd be a knucklehead, go to jail, somebody bond me out. Didn't matter what. Anything I wanted, I get it. Just because I was Bobby Thompson. And I wasn't even high performing anymore, and I was okay with it. I was just because I'd done it before. And I know I could if I wanted to. But that didn't work out for me. Like what I'm telling you is working out for me now. That worked out horrible, actually. Everything was all bad. Everything was all bad. But when I maximize my potential and I do the things that I know I'm supposed to do, and I actually do the shoulds and the coulds, that works out very well. So you have to decide. That's the difference. That's really the difference between talent and obsession. Talent makes a decision. I don't have to if I don't want to. Obsession is all in. Obsession has so much pride with it. Obsession is not okay with laying down at night knowing it could have done a better job. Obsession is not okay with that. You guys know the difference. And some of you guys know the difference because you go through seasons. Some of you guys are all in obsessed sometimes and then the other times not. How's that working out? Because I'm going to tell you right now, when you get to a point where you stay obsessed, that's when you're going to win the most. When it's not an on and off switch. Like, yeah, I'm going to be super into it this week. And then next week it's like, oh, I'm not too focused. When you're obsessed and you're all in and you're not okay with the coulds and shoulds, that's when you're going to elevate to the highest points. For the right reason, too. What are you doing it for to begin with? Don't you have something you care about? Yeah. Right? How about you? You care about you. You care about your family. You care about your kids. Right? So you're not getting care about God for sure. You're not getting obsessed for nothing. You're getting obsessed for a reason. All the way in. Dedicated because it means something to me. And not being okay. Listen, you got to stop being okay with not doing what you know you need to do. You need to let it bother you more when you don't get what you're supposed to get. It's okay to let it bother you. I know it is because it bothers me and it helps me. It bothers me to a very high level if I don't get something to happen that I know I'm supposed to make happen. It super bothers me. I'm not okay with just sitting there going, oh, I should have. Yeah, I wish I would have. No, I'm mad. I'm upset when that happens. I'm like, there's no way I'm letting this happen again. I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to really dedicate and level up. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to put this in. Whatever it takes. But I'm going to make it. I'm going to get the result that I came for. That's the point. That's the point. I'm not going to be okay with falling short. I'm going to be okay with winning. I'm going to be okay with making it happen. That's the motto. Make it happen. Go get the bag, right? Don't go to get the bag and come back sad. Go get the bag. You understand what I'm saying? Some people go to get the bag and they come back sad or mad. Go get it. Make it happen. Do what you got to do. Don't be okay with not following through. Start somewhere. No matter how many times I say this, I try to say it in so many different ways, but you got to start somewhere. You got to find some self-discipline. You got to start dedicating yourself and getting something started that's going to work for you long term. The way you're going to do that is by beating yourself, by overcoming flesh, by making yourself do the stuff you don't want to do. I say this so many different ways, but it really is true. You got to be able to put your mind to something and make it happen and not fall back on it. That's why I talk about practicing disciplines. That's why I talk about waking up in the morning. Listen, when you're obsessed, you get up excited. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you're obsessed, you get up excited. You can't wait to get up. When you wake up in the morning, it's not like, oh, yeah, another day. No, it's like, oh, yeah, another day. I'm excited. I get to get back out there and make it happen again. I'm so glad. When you're obsessed, but when you reserve some of that dedication, it doesn't feel the same way. That's why people think they're winning when they hold back 30%. People think they're winning, just like when somebody's on the clock, right? And they don't have to work as hard as they know they could, but they get paid the same. That's not you. You're a business owner. I swear some people think like that. Listen, do you understand what I'm saying? You know how some people work a 9-to-5 job and they go in and they're like, if they get away with not having to work as hard today, but they get paid the same, they feel like they got over. Like, I'm still making the same amount and I didn't even have to put in as much work today. That's how most people think they win. I'm telling you right now, if you were to look at everybody's mind and heart all across the country, most people think like that. Most people think if I can make some money and not have to put in as much effort, I'm winning. But the difference is people that are obsessed and actually dedicated to what they do are looking to put in more than they have to, even if they don't get paid as much. That's the difference. People that are obsessed are willing to put in more than they have to, even if they don't get paid as much. And those people are the ones that end up making the most in the long run. There's usually seasons where they don't get paid as much, but guess what? They don't care because they're obsessed. They're really in it for the right reasons. They really care enough. They're ready to put in more work for less pay and longer hours. And those people are obsessed. People like Elon Musk. You guys ever heard of him? You know the guy that did all the stuff nobody does? Yeah, I was watching a documentary of him, and he actually, one of his things, when he's talking about business ownership, one of his first things he says is work overtime, work more than anyone else. One of his rules of thumb is work 80-hour weeks or some crazy thing like that. This guy is so obsessed with what he does, he sleeps where he works. Like he'll be the first, he'll work with the teams and sleep there at the office on the couch for a few hours, get back up and be right on the front line again. Working more hours than is even humanly healthy. Obsessed with everything he does, and look at how successful he is. But it's not just him. If you look at anyone that's successful, they're obsessed with what they do. It's a different level of dedication. Like I said, ability is one thing, right? You're able. Everybody give each other a hand for being able. That's awesome. Not everybody's able, but everybody in this room is. So that's a big deal. But guess what? There's some people in this room that are talented. Everybody give the talented people a hand. High five for being talented. Guess what? The ones that are going to win the most are the ones that get obsessed. The ones that get obsessed with the job. The ones that get obsessed with the contest. The ones that get obsessed with the chat. The ones that get obsessed with the LDP and the awards and the leadership development program. All the stuff that's involved. The ones that are obsessed are the ones that are going to win. So let's give them a pre-hand, y'all. Come on, let's give it. everybody that's going to be obsessed with what we're doing here. Obsession is the key. I'm not making it up. Every time in my life I've been super successful, it's always the times that I was super obsessed with what I was doing. Even in the gym, when I'm obsessed, I get results and I'm happy about it. Right? You want to know how obsessed I am? I'll tell you. 3 times a week, I wake up early in the morning and I do the cardio workout. I work out twice a day, 3 times a week. And then all the other days, I work out every single evening. So every day but one, I'm working out in the gym. And I enjoy it. Right? And it's so much better than when I'm not dedicated like that. It's so much better than when I'm mediocre just working out every once in a while. Every single thing you super dedicate yourself to is what you're going to feel the best results from. Every single thing. So what I suggest to you is you start getting obsessed with the next level. And you start getting obsessed with whatever you need to do to make it happen. And you start thinking about why you're holding back and what's making you hold back. When you sit down, just go, why don't I give it my all? Why do I spend 10 hours but don't actually give it my best? Why do I drive all the way out to an office and spend all day out in the work field but don't actually push it my very hardest? Think about it. And then motivate yourself. Whatever you got to do, give yourself a pep talk. Get in the mirror and be like, I'm about to do it this time. Yeah. Whatever you got to do to actually get riled up to make it happen. That's the key.